hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. Welcome to the Atrioc broadcast here on August 22nd, 2025. 8 months into the year. Jeez Louise. Nearly 9 months into the year. Hey, look, it's the guy I didn't think my 48 months. Is that the kind of attitude that you want to bring to the opening of the stream? I'm just asking. Hey, the who's who of gaming. Thank you for thank you for the tier 3 gifty to Sunbear. Do you know Sunbear, or did you just want to give them a tier 3? Doc Fado, thank you for the prime. Philip, my butt. You got me with that. 3 months. I have a nice applesauce here that I'm going to eat. So tasty. I don't know why. This is probably a sign of putting me in a nursing home. I've been loving applesauce lately. I'll say it. I'll fucking say it. I've been loving it. It's like a great little snack. Like, I got it one time on a whim, and now every time I go to the grocery store, I get another applesauce. Because where's the prunes at? All right, there's no need for this kind of joke. You know what I'm saying? Some of you, I'm sure, who you're really hurting is the guy in chat that also loves applesauce but is afraid to speak up. There's somebody in chat right now who actually knows applesauce is a great snack but doesn't want to speak up because of your... Damn, that's good. First they came for the applesauce. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm not afraid. I love applesauce and I'm proud. It was all a sting, chat. I don't even like applesauce. It was a bait so we could catch Mimgy in the act. Wow, old? So old. What the hell, Mimgy? Wow, you're so freaking old. You like applesauce? Yuck. No, I'm kidding. I do love it. It's so good. It's so good. What up, everybody? How you doing? How are you doing on this fine Friday? Atrioc Friday, we call it. Atrioc August, Atrioc Friday. It's a double whammy. Real talk, real drizzle. I haven't eaten applesauce since I was a kid. Is it actually an apple-based snack, or is it 20 grams of sugar pretending to be fruit? Well, this is unsweetened, but it does have a lot of sugar because apples have a lot of sugar. There's no added sugar, but apples have a lot of sugar. So it is what you're saying. I guess it's both. I guess it's both. Is it just mashed apple? I assume there's other processes. There's other demonic ways they get it. Natural sugar is good for you. That's what Dole told me. Dole wouldn't lie. That's a core tenet of mine, a core philosophy, is that the Dole Corporation would not tell a lie. Because let me say one thing about Dole is they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about profits. It doesn't even cross their mind. Do they make profits? Sure, it's a nice to have. But it's not, they care number one, first and foremost, about making sure you have fresh, delicious fruit to eat at all times. I mean, I eat a fruit smoothie for breakfast every day, so I'm not going to judge applesauce if it's just sugar from the apple. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just a good snack, dude. It's just like, do you understand that, like, for me, the alternative is like Sour Patch Kids? You're worried about my sugar intake. It's an apple's worth of sugar, and I'm eating this as like a little snack between healthy. I had grilled salmon, broccoli, and rice. That was my dinner, okay? So I don't feel like I'm being unhealthy. And then my little snack is a cup of applesauce, and I gotta go at Twitch chatters, probably who are halfway through a bag of Doritos, Cool Ranch, and they're telling me I can't fucking... They're telling me I can't eat my applesauce. You got fucking Totino's pizza rolls. 2 bags, actually. Literally housing a thing of Dots pretzels right now. I do love a good Dots pretzel. Van, thank you for the 17 months. Hey, Big A, please continue making excellent content. You're almost always the highlight of my evening. What do you mean almost? What the fuck do you mean almost? Just crashing out on a 20-month sub with a nice message. Ban that guy. What kind of fucking almost is not good? No, thank you, Quandrix. I appreciate that. It's very kind. You don't stream every day, so rewatch a VOD. It hits better the second time. Every one of my VODs and every one of my videos is layered. You're catching new things that you missed the first time. Okay? There's subtleties. I'd often say the first viewing of any Atrioc piece of content, you're only getting 10% of the nuance of the. It's a Russian nesting doll of subtext. Read his reply. What did he say? I lost his message. What was his reply? Please continue making excellent content. He said, I mean, sometimes I get laid. That's your life. 80% of nights, 85% of nights, it's watch Atrioc Big A VOD. And the 15% you just get laid. That's incredible. You're living fucking dream. Good shit. Bold of you to assume it's 15%. Hey, listen, I wanted to be positive. Has there ever been a night where you got laid, but the stream was still better? You ever gotten laid and then watched a fucking crackling Big A clip? And then been like, well, you know what? That was really the highlight of the night. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't know that you need like aftercare after sex. You're not supposed to just like have sex and then peace out. You want to, and one great thing to do is you have sex, you put on a Big A clip. You will sit in bed and watch it together. Okay. It's actually really good. It's actually a post-sex marketing Monday is, yeah. The more applesauce he eats, the less there is for babies. Applesauce is not a finite commodity, which we cannot replenish or make more of. There's not just a big bowl of applesauce somewhere and I'm siphoning off of it to get mine. In fact, as demand increases, they will increase the supply out here bulking on baby formula. That doesn't make much sense. Take the applesauce away from Big A. The kids need it. Take it away from the kids. Big A needs it. What are the kids doing? I'm going to give an update on Jerome Powell today. What the fuck is a 2-year-old going to do? Cry? Both are equally good at peak. I beat peak. You just can't. Your words are bouncing off of me. Paching, pew. I beat peak. I hit the peak. So, if anything, I might want to throw it Ludwig's way because he did not. He did not. I didn't even die the whole run. It was God tier. It was literally it was that easy. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Did you see the prediction market AI? I don't know, but if you spam the question 5 more times, maybe I'll answer you. He got top 50 worldwide. Bro, he did the fucking cheese. That's not a real win. You have to get the peak. Listening to Trump today made me very embarrassed to be American. Were you embarrassed because you can't speak as well as him? Is that why? Like sometimes I'm listening to Trump, I think, wow, this guy's one of the most eloquent, articulate speakers I've ever heard. And I feel embarrassed that like I'm not at his level. Like I don't understand the depth of thought. And like how could I ever make it to the presidency if I can't speak like this modern day Shakespeare? Um mm, Have you seen the clip of Curry just dropping a three after the New Zealand team does a haka? No, but that does sound very funny. If you have it, I'll probably watch it. Dude, it's too hot in here. One second. It's actually too fucking hot in here. It's like insanely, swelteringly hot. Oh! Okay, I hope that works. I hope that I might have to go freezer shirt. I might have to literally freezer shirt it. I I literally might. It's so goddamn hot. Are you hand cranking the door? No. You take the. This works on cars, by the way. I learned this in the sweltering heat of Arizona. If you have a hot car, you open the door and you slam it shut, and it rushes the hot air out. you, and it helps to fucking. Yeah, you open the other door. You have to open both doors, but then you slam it. No, you can't just open the window. It doesn't. That's not fast enough. You can go windows down and drive fast. That's correct. I'm watching The Gilded Age on HBO. Is it an accurate representation of your childhood? No. I was born way before that. So, The Gilded Age is not even close. I barely remember The Gilded Age. I was fucking so high during that. I was so high in The Gilded Age. Honestly, I wasted those years because they were fairly nice. And then we got the crash and the Great Depression, and I was like, damn, I wish I'd enjoyed it more. The Stoned Age. Bro was zooted. That was him in his 20s. Dude, did you see the new JP Morgan Chase building? Let's see. 14,000 employees. The new super banking bank center for JP Morgan Chase. And it has this is pretty wild. And they here, let me pull it up. They had, Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon is the CEO. You guys know what he looks like? Let me pull him up. Jamie Dimon. This guy. He's kind of like a friendlier looking grandpa sometimes. He would definitely kill you for $1, but Jamie Dimon, this guy has been really big on the return to office push. He famously said something like, it was recorded. He was caught on a recording saying, "Don't give me this shit about return to office Fridays." Like, if you're not working all the days of the week. So anyway, they build this new tower. Oh yeah, it was this. Here, I found it. It's the audio recording. Can we find it? Here. Dude, it just links me to more fucking articles about it. But give me the fucking actual link. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube. Jamie Dimon work from home audio.
A lot of you were on the fucking Zoom and you were doing the following, okay? Looking at your mail, sending texts to each other about what an asshole the other person is. Okay, not paying attention, not reading your stuff, and if you don't think that slows down efficiency, creativity, creates rudeness, and stuff, it does, okay? And when I found out that people are doing that, you don't do that in my goddamn meeting. You go to a meeting with me, you got my attention, you got my focus, I don't bring my goddamn phone, I'm not sending texts to people, okay? It simply doesn't work, and it doesn't work for creativity, it slows down decision-making. And don't give me the shit that work from home Friday works. I call a lot of people on Friday. They're not a goddamn person you get a hold of. But here are the problems, okay? And they are substantial, okay? Which is the young generation is being damaged by this. That means they may or may not be on your particular staff, but they are being left behind. They're being left behind socially, ideas, meeting people. In fact, my guess is most of you live in communities a hell of a lot less diverse than this room. Every area should be looking to be 10% more efficient.
Anyway, he goes into it. Some of that has some truth. I'm not sure about his manner of speaking, but specifically the part that I do agree with him on is that if you're going to be in a meeting with somebody, give them your focus and attention and move the meeting along. I'd rather have a CEO like that who's there and focused than a CEO like I had at Twitch where they're on their fucking phone playing Hearthstone. That was frustrating. You feel disrespected trying to present in that meeting. But yeah, part of it is that he is paid quite well to be attentive and focused. And he can get regular breaks and vacations, and people under him don't have that same level of he should have been playing League. Yeah, he should have been SBF style. He should have been playing League. So anyway, he's very anti-work from home, okay? He's been clearly a big part of it. And so they're building this new tower, and it's designed around long hours. The office is open 24 hours, 7 days a week, okay? And has, food at, 3 a.m. It, has... Everything is around 24 hours. So they're really trying to just get, people at their office 100 hours a week, Which is, the perks look nice as I'm reading through it. It's got sit-down dining, including a pub. But this just reminds me of, my early days at Twitch when the perks were really nice, but they wanted you to live at the office. Which I did. Because I hated my apartment. And I didn't have any food at home. So I would just eat at the office nonstop. And a 6-figure salary? Well, to be clear, if it's JP Morgan Chase at this tower, you probably are getting a 6-figure salary. But still, the hours are crazy. Put a Chili's inside an Amazon warehouse and I'm living there. That's Jeff Bezos' next dream. Bunk beds and a Chili's. And you just never leave. You're on site at the warehouse your whole life. You work, live, and die there. But with daily Chili's, you can't beat that. When you're here, you're family. Why didn't he just say, we got to lock in? And I think everyone would have understood. That's because he's a boomer. Zoomer CEOs of the future will have much shorter speeches. They won't talk about efficiency and creativity and paying attention to meetings. They'll just say, listen, facts are facts. We got to lock in. And everyone will fucking get it. And they'll sit up and they'll lock in. Chat. We need to lock in this quarter. Yeah, exactly. Fucking exactly. Um, oh, here's the clip of
And the tall blacks are no different.
Curry. Let's see. What was the final score? Yeah, okay. Yeah, 95-68. They can still come back. They can still win. Bernie can still win. Bernie plays a mean ball. They should have got him. Torin Mo. They give it the 4 months. Cham. They give it the 33. Their rugby team is amazing. I believe it. I mean, rugby's way bigger there. I totally believe that. But basketball, probably not so much. Silk Song soon. So I know, me too. We're less than 2 weeks. We're less than 2 weeks until Silk Song. I am very fucking excited. I got lots to finish before then because I'm really gonna lock in. Are you gonna do a P5 run? I don't think. I mean, if I did Absolute Radiance Radiant, I don't think P5 is gonna be that helpful. If you were still at a corporate job, how many days would you ask off? Oh, that's interesting. How many days would I take off for Silk Song? I don't know. Probably just 1 or 2, and then I would go through the weekend because it drops on a Thursday, and then I would probably play it after work. Are you gonna stream first day? Yeah, I'm gonna stream first day. I'm gonna stream right as it comes out. It comes out on Thursday the 4th. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's all Hollow Knight. Maybe Monday we'll do a little bit of news and then Hollow Knight, and then I'll just keep going back. Are there any aspects of your old job that you miss? Oh, yeah, there's things I miss. NVIDIA work-life balance was very feast or famine. So, like, around a launch, it would be just miserable for a few months. Just really stressful. And then outside of that, it was, like, incredible. It was, like, really good. And they obviously paid very well. I don't know. I think the coolest part of a job like that was working with other serious people in a serious environment and talking about serious things. That's the one thing you don't really get from this job is like being able to sit down in a room with someone else also in a button down and just like really hashing something out and then trying to make something work. You don't really get that. It's not worth it. It's like, I like this job better for now, but, but it was cool. That was like one thing about it. The Atrioc is serious. This is where we solve problems no one has. Been thinking of quitting my current job to go travel the world. How cooked am I coming back in 2 years? I mean, you have money for that? You got just the bag to go travel the world for 2 years? I would worry less about being cooked. I wouldn't worry so much about the gap. You can always explain a gap. But I would be worried financially about just taking 2 years off income and then traveling. Let me fix my collar. World will probably... Dude, even Raz's Doomer... Guy plays nothing but great indie games all day and thinks the world will be over in 2 years. How is anyone else going to have any hope, Raz? How can you be so doomer? Silk Song's coming out in 2 weeks and you're doomer? Yeah, if the interviewer ever asks why there's a gap on your resume, just say, why is there a gap in their teeth? And then punch them right in the mouth. That's facts. I mean, that just works. It establishes dominance. And then ask how many paid days off you get. Imagine the nuke drops the day before Silk Song. World War III nuclear war starts September 3rd. I'd be outrunning my laptop. I'd be outrunning the shockwave with my laptop to keep playing. It's the perfect time to strike. Everyone will be too busy playing. I mean, this is not even that controversial of a take. I've made it before. But I think there's a huge cohort of people who really enjoyed being a Silk Song fan when it was about a game that would never come out. And there's actually a significantly smaller group of people that actually are going to play and enjoy the game. I think there's legitimately some fan artists that are sad that the game is releasing because now the fun part is over for them. The part where they're like, oh, Silk Song's never coming out. I'm just a clown. Ha ha ha. And then make fan art about it. Like, I actually think they don't care about playing the game, but they really enjoyed the aesthetic of being a Silk Song fan. And I don't think, I think the game will do well, obviously, just because I think Hollow Knight. But, like, we're overstating the size. Like, Hollow Knight sold 15 million copies, which is incredible. But it took years to do that, and Peak sold more than that in 2 days. Like, it's a big indie game. It's a great indie game, but it's not going to be top of Steam or whatever. It's not going to be maybe day one, but like Game of the year, though? Real shot. It has a real shot. I think this is my opinion based on seeing a lot of games awards. I think Jesus Christ himself could come back and make the greatest 2D Metroidvania of all time. It like literally changes your life, heals your immortal soul, and it would not beat Expedition 33 this year. I think it's already signed, sealed, and delivered. I think that game hits, it's not only actually good, but it also hits everything that the award show wants to reward. It's very Jeff pilled. It's award bait. It just hits the exact, in a way that a 2D platformer is not going to do. It doesn't have Kojima. I mean, that's true. If Kojima made one, that could still win it for Jeff. But I would place the odds-on bet that Expedition 33 is the game of the year, Game Awards, no doubt. We all know Donkey Suck will win. No, Donkey Kong's not going to win. I think Donkey Kong's already kind of like whatever. Silk Song faithful, but Silk Song, I mean, don't rule it out. It could win some awards too. I think it's going to be very good. I legitimately, I think Silk Song's going to be very, very good. The whole thing about the interview too, they didn't even have troubles. They were in development heaven. They were loving it. They were having a good time for 7 years. How is that game not going to be, especially this, for me, just think about it for me. If I really liked Hollow Knight, I think I'm going to get exactly what I want. I think the problem is going to be people that don't like Hollow Knight thinking Silksong is going to save them. I think if you didn't like Hollow Knight, Silksong's not going to magically fill a hole in your soul and be the game that you needed to make your life happy. But if you did like Hollow Knight, I think Silksong's going to be incredible. I think it's going to be a really good game. Can't wait to see you playing it. I'm very excited to play. I think it'll be really fun to play. I think it'll be really, really fun to play. I do want to talk about Jerome Powell today, but maybe in just a second. I'm not huge on platformers, but the hype's made me want to play Hollow Knight, hoping it goes on sale this week. Yeah, give it a try. See what you think. But only thing I'll say about Hollow Knight is you really have to... It's like when someone recommends you a fucking bad TV show. No, you have to, wait, bro, it gets good season 2, episode 9. All right, just get through 40 episodes, and then... But to be truly honest, Hollow Knight, you have to give it a while. You have to get to... I think it's the what are they called? The Sisters of Battle? Mantis Lords. You have to at least beat the Mantis Lords. After Mantis Lords, I was like, oh, I get it. I get why this game is... Like, I literally was about to quit. I talked so much shit on the game. I was quite rude to it, actually. I was making up all these jokes about how you need the fucking... rock boots to jump on a boulder, and you need the fucking smell boots to get past the fucking scent and whatever. I was like, you need all these, you need spike boots, and you need... I was just making fun of Metroidvanias in general, because I don't really like them. I'll say it. I don't really like them. The concept of this big fucking map that I get lost in, I have to backtrack over and over to get... I don't like it in general. The reason I like Hollow Knight is because... it's so good that it overcomes that. It's so polished. There's so much heart in all the enemies. The design is so cool. The music is so good. The aesthetic is so good. The vibe is really cool. Yeah, it's just, that's why I like it. It literally won me over through sheer craftsmanship. Plus, it just feels really good to control. Your character is very snappy. You can use your sword to bounce off things. Everything's good. I don't know. It's just, if there was like a tiny turnaround animation, which like was slow, the game would suck. The game would suck, but there's not. Everything's snappy. It's crisp. So I don't know. That's how I would describe why I think the game is so good and why I'm excited for it. I never played it. It always seemed like a game for sad nerds. Okay. What's your game of choice, Agent 42? What is the game for cool people? Did you like Metroid Dread on the Switch? Not really. I don't think Metroid Dread's a perfect example of a game I thought was like all right. It's better than the average game, but it was like all right. And Hollow Knight I thought was way better. I thought it was way better. What up, Isto? What are some games you consider S tier? S tier games all time? S tier games. Get to Work is number 1. Get to Work. G2W. That's the best game ever made. No, S tier games. Mario 64 is an S tier perfect game. Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds. Yeah, I'd say Elden Ring. I would say Elden Ring. Elden Ring. I'd say Elden Ring. Sekiro. Actually, I literally would say these are all S tier, and Sekiro might be S plus. I think Sekiro is perhaps a perfect game. I might even say that. Now, obviously, nothing's perfect, but I mean in terms of what a human team can achieve. I feel like Sekiro has I have no notes. Like, everything I would quibble with is like, I can see why they did it their way. I actually think Sekiro is like a perfect game. Same thing I'd say about Ocarina of Time, by the way, but only, I feel like Ocarina of Time is now so old that it only partially holds up. So much of Ocarina of Time has been stolen, but like, Ocarina of Time compared to the world of 1996 is a perfect game, is an S plus tier game. It is the best game they could have made in 1996. I think that is a perfect game. That's not nostalgia. No, I'm literally comparing it to the games of its time, so it's not nostalgia. If you really, it's hard to explain. Like, when the year Ocarina of Time came out, there was so much to do in that game, and it's all so beautiful. It's all so good. There's so much content. All these dungeons have these beautiful, crazy bosses, and it was the Elden Ring of its time. Yeah, it really was. It has that fuck-ass owl. Yeah, it also has Navi, annoying as shit, but those are pretty minor quibbles. Glazing a 7 out of 10 at best is crazy. That's rage bait. I'm not even going to fall for that. Hey, listen. That's rage bait. No, I think this is already a really good list. I'm missing a lot of great games, but for me, what else? What is a truly S tier, S plus tier game? Last of Us, Half-Life 2. Dude, I low-key think Half-Life 2 is overrated. I'll say it. I liked it, but I feel like Half-Life 2's engine was better than the game. I think Half-Life 2 is an overrated. As a game, as a first-person shooter, it's kind of like... Blueprints? No, I mean, this is a list of all games in existence on an all-time eternal tier list. Blueprints is an A. Blueprints is a very good game. I think an A is like incredible. It's like but if we're doing this should be like a very short list, really. This should be the GOATs, the God Kings. Ooh, I will say, I think Hades is an S tier game. I think Hades is such a good game, bro. I think Hades is such a good game. I would say Portal is on here. Portal 1 and 2, which is crazy. They're both this good. Yeah. Slay the Spire is probably on here. Yeah, I mean, this list actually could go on for a while. Slay the Spire, STS. StarCraft 2. I actually think StarCraft 2 is... StarCraft 2 is an incredible game, and I've probably put more hours into it than a lot of these games. And a huge part of my life. But StarCraft 2's campaign really does kind of suck butt. Like, I had fun with it, but low-key, it's like, it's so much worse than it could be. Like the story's not good. It's like worse than the original campaigns. Halo 2 is Halo 2 is an S tier game. But does it hold up? I guess by OOT standards, it's an S tier game. This is like, I'm putting asterisks here. This is like for their time. Like you have to give it credit because it's that good. But some of these are time. Like Outer Wilds. How many years has it been since it came out? I think Outer Wilds is S tier game today versus all competition of today. By the way, I think Mario 64 holds up. I think Mario 64 is still S tier platforming game today. I think it holds up in a way that OOT and Halo 2 don't. I think Mario 64 is like no one else is making it like that. Maybe Astrobot, I haven't played it, but so us Zoomers will love it. You might get turned off by the graphics. They're bad. They're actually crisp as fuck, but I think a Zoomer could play Mario 64 today and have a great time. It's actually just a fucking fun game. Pokemon Emerald? There's no Pokemon game in S tier or S plus tier of all games. That's crazy. I love Pokemon. Don't get me wrong. I grew up with all these. Pokemon is on S tier, S plus tier, all-time game. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not a hater. That's not even a hater. That's not... I think the best Pokemon game of all time would be a B on the all-time list. Like, it's not... As a game? No way. No fucking way. As like a franchise, as a thing that my young brain could get addicted to and want to catch them all, as a way to self-diagnose your autism, Pokemon is S tier at all of these things. But as a game, it is not. RE4? Ooh, RE4. Yeah, that's an S tier game. RE4. There's no doubt. That's an S tier game. Maybe with an asterisk, but... Baldur's Gate 3? Yeah, BG3. Technically, BG3 could be S+. I didn't beat it. So I'm only giving it S. But like if I dove in 100 more hours, they gave everybody everything they wanted. They gave so much. They gave and gave and gave. Like I think S+ is like, what I'm saying with S+ is like, this is the realistic limit you could ever ask from a dev studio. Like, they gave you everything. You could not ask for more. That is it. That is the top of the top. And I think BG3 probably hits that. Hitman? Is Hitman an S-tier game? For me it is. I'll put it on here. Hitman. But only if you get... I don't know. It's... The monetization scheme of it is kind of my problem. If I told someone to buy Hitman, they have to buy like 3 different fucking things plus like, if you just have it all at once, or if you're a streamer and it's a business expense, then I think it's an S tier game. But like Hitman 3 on its own is not an S tier game, and you have to buy that, so I don't know. I maybe I don't put it in there. Red Dead is kind of getting snubbed on my list because I haven't played it. I can't quite give it a rating. I don't know. GTA? Probably GTA 5 is here. Maybe San Andreas is on here too. And then the other GTAs are here. I would say like GTA 3 and 4. And I would say 5 and San Andreas are probably here. Minecraft? Depends on if you count. Dude, the problem with games like Minecraft and Roblox and Fortnite is like, what do we... I don't know. These games as platforms kind of break my whole scheme. You know, they're like these living, updating, years-long games. It's not... Minecraft is a base game? You think Minecraft is a base game with nothing else by yourself? Maybe. I don't think they gave you enough. I think all the fun you're thinking about comes from being young and playing with friends. I don't think you're thinking... I don't know. I mean, there's something special about it, but... Where's Black Ops 3 Zombies? I mean, this is getting broken. Where the fuck is Hollow Knight? I think I put it on there, didn't I? I would put Hollow Knight on there. I would put Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight. And I would put... I'll probably put Melee on here too. Melee. Skyrim? No, I wouldn't put Skyrim on this list. I put Skyrim at A. Fallout New Vegas? New Vegas is probably S tier. Yeah, New Vegas. New Vegas is really fun. I don't have Terraria hours to know that. And also, low key, I have Mario 64 here. This is like kind of my boomer take here. But you could put Odyssey here too. Odyssey is a really good game. Like, just because I'm more jaded when I played it, it is a really good game. It's like... I don't think Galaxy clears Odyssey. I disagree, man. I don't know. I can't tell if it's my bias or yours when it comes to Galaxy. Maybe it's both. I feel like Zoomers overrate Galaxy, bro. I think it just hit. But maybe I'm doing that for 64, so. I certainly don't think... I feel the way about Sunshine. I think Galaxy's better than Sunshine. I think if I were to rate Mario's, it would be 64 Odyssey is kind of a tie. I lean towards 64, but I could see it being Odyssey. And then the next tier is probably Galaxy 2. And then the next tier is Galaxy 1. The next tier is Sunshine. That's probably what I would say is the Mario. Yeah, I'm doing 3D only. Sunshine haters haven't seen the ocean. I think sunshine haters are tired of seeing the ocean in every level. I think that's the problem. The biggest problem with sunshine is how repetitive the levels are. You want like an ice level. You want like a volcano. You want like a desert. You want like a... That's the beauty of 64. All these different, wildly different levels. It's really fun. There is a volcano. I understand there's a volcano, but it's like very brief and it's right at the end. It's not really like a level you can explore. And also, everyone kind of low-key hates water levels, and you gave us a game with all of the water levels. What about Crypto Zoo? Oh, I forgot about Crypto Zoo. Wait. It's got to be... Actually, get rid of these. It's Crypto Zoo. What you guys don't understand is, like, not only is it a really fun game, but you can also make money. It's really S+++. It's the world's first quintuple A game. Yeah. Dude, Logan Paul's lawyer was on LinkedIn. I guess he got off scot-free on the Crypto Zoo lawsuit. The hardest part about being a lawyer is witnessing firsthand how an investigation or lawsuit impacts a client. It can devastate them, leading them to question everything. As their lawyer, you're tasked with steadying the ship. You're the confidant, the voice of reason, guiding them out of darkness and assuring them brighter days lie ahead. It's not easy, but when your client is vindicated, there's no better feeling. Telling Logan Paul 30 minutes after his fairy tale wedding that a magistrate judge recommended a complete dismissal of a class action lawsuit we'd been fighting for over a year was an unforgettable moment. The order came down as he was walking down the aisle. It felt like it was meant to be. This is about Crypto Zoo lawsuit. He LinkedIn posted about Logan Paul's wedding, and I guess as he was walking down the aisle, told him he was the Crypto Zoo lawsuit got dropped. This is crazy. This is crazy. It really is a powerful story. Makes you think, huh? One of the most LinkedIn posts I've ever seen, yeah. No wonder CoffeeZilla's talking more about Epstein than crypto. I'd be pissed too. Yeah, I can see why he doesn't talk about crypto, because the idea of any crypto getting persecuted is dead. Everyone gets off scot-free. It's like no point. Maybe Epstein, you can finally get something to happen. The new NYT game is right up your alley. What's the new NYT games? They made a new one? What's it called? Tiles? Tiles? Pips? What's it called? Pips? Place every domino in the right spot. I skipped the tutorial. I skipped the tutorial. Well, now I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Oh, here we go. Okay. Rotate the dominoes. Color regions have conditions attached to their bottom right that must be fulfilled. They have to be the same number. They have to sum to something. Okay. I'll figure it out, right? So these have to equal, is what you're telling me? And this is the sum to 5. Okay. Wait. Oh, no, that's got to be 5. Oh, I see. Okay. So like this, that's 5. And then this, and this is the sum to 6. So I need a 2 and a 1. Well, that's not possible. So I've already fucked up. Curse this damn game. Okay, wait. I'm going to solve this, but I'm never playing it again. I'm going to solve this for the fucking heart of it, but then I'm never playing it again. Okay. So this has got a sum to 3. And this is 1 domino? Why can't I move you? Okay. I guess I can go vertical with it. None of these sum to 3. So it has to be, I guess, a 2 and a 1, or a 3 and a 0. There's no 2s. If there's no 2s, then it needs to be a 3 and a 0. So it's got to be like this. Okay? Done. Easy clap. Easy fucking clap. Then I need a 5. And a 6. Hold up. I'm cooking. These are equal. These all need to be equal? Oh, I get it. I fucking get it. I fucking get it. I solved it. I solved it. Don't you worry about that. I solved it. Boom! Okay. Yeah, it's kind of fun, but let's see. What else? Wait. I want to talk about Jerome Powell. I'm kind of delaying, but I do. Let's see if I can do the mini. NYT the mini. Ready to start solving? Yeah. Okay. Wait, how do you? Yeah, okay. Play. Hairstyle made popular by the Beatles. Isn't it like Mop Top or something? Mop Top. Doing amazingly in slang. I don't know. Director's words at the end of a take. That's a rap cut? I don't know. 'Tis the season. Serious wrongdoing. I don't know. Camera attachment. Lens. Spice in a pumpkin spice latte. Pumpkin. Wait, what? Come down to earth. Land. Okay. Tournament favorite. I don't know. Odds on. Hamilton Bills. 100s. No, 10s. 10s. That's Franklin. Serious wrongdoing. I don't know. Letters after JK. JK. LOL. NYC commuting org. This is like the I don't know, give one letter, like MTA maybe? MTA? Is this fall maybe? Serious wrongdoing. Longing for, pining. Behavioral quirk, tick. Opposite of thanks in texting. Opposite of thanks in texting. Pulls. Teen who exclusively listens to music of the 70s say. A teen who only listens to music from the 70s says what? I don't know. Minions! Doing amazing. It's lit? No, I don't know. Oh, and scene. Okay. And scene. What is this? Doing amazingly in slang. I don't know. Camera attachment. I don't know. Serious wrongdoing. Sin. Tournament favorite. Tournament favorite. One seed. One seed. Okay. What the fuck? I don't think this is MTA. Nutmeg. Nutmeg. So this is not LOL. JK OMG? JK what? JK Rowling? What the fuck? Dude, okay. Doing amazingly Linux. In Linux. No, I don't know. Camera attachment. This has got to be lens. But I don't know what the front is. 13 down. I don't know. Kind of getting stuck here. All right, if I get this one, get 7 down. 7 down is a eponym of the New York City deli featured in When Harry Met. What the fuck? I haven't seen When Harry Met Sally. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? What a deep cut reference. Oh, I don't know When Harry Met Sally. What an old reference. Okay. No. How? Okay. What can I get? Come Down to Earth could be land. Let's just say land. And what if this was soul? And this is old soul. Old soul! Yeah! He's an old soul. Okay. This is a zoom lens. Okay. And this is killing it. All right, we got there. What about spelling bee? I used to like this one. Crimino. Incrimino. Common. Rad. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything. What the hell? Cinema. Sino. Maybe I need to not look at C starter. I'm looking at C starters, but I shouldn't. Mochaccino. M-O-C. I don't think of that. N-O-C. Knock. No. I-C-O. Ico. That's a game. Icon. Coniferous. Confirm. Pangram. Boom. I walked out. Easy. Okay. View all games. What about connections? I'll try connections, and then I'm done with the games. Connections. 4 groups of 4. Let's see what we got here. Las Vegas, Strip, Amy, Adams, Tom Cruise, Washington, Private Ryan, Christoph Waltz, John Malkovich, Stud, Jeffrey Rush, Ford, Omaha, Grant, Draw, Chevy Chase. This is weird. They're all movies and actors, so it's kind of more difficult. They're all somewhat connected. I guess Saving Private Ryan, Leaving Las Vegas, Chasing Amy, Omaha Beach, Stud, Omaha. These are card games. Strip Poker, Stud Poker, Omaha Poker, maybe Draw Poker. Easy fucking clap. Easy fucking clap. Okay. That narrows it down. Jeffrey Rush. He's a pirate. You have heard of me. Well, that's not Jeffrey Rush. That's that's the other one. Tom Cruise. I mean, these are the actual actors. Other than Chevy Chase, though. All right, well, there's presidents. Washington, Grant, Adams, Ford. Yep. Leaving Las Vegas, Saving Private Ryan, Chasing Amy, and Being John Malkovich. Easy fucking clap. That's a perfect. Okay. Bing, bang, bong. One more. I forgot one of my favorite ones. If you don't know, this is one of the most fun games. If you like movies. Framed! Ooh, but I'm worried I don't recognize it. Oh, wait a minute. I think I have seen this movie. What is this movie? Oh, what is this movie? Oh, what is this movie? Is it Rushmore? No, it's Aubrey Plaza would be too young. What is this movie? I've seen this movie. Give me one more. Adam Sandler. It's funny people. Funny people. All right. It's funny people. What about funny people, by the way? I can't remember if I hated the first third or the last third. I think it was the last third. I think Funny People was like a great movie that was like 40 minutes too long, and it got way worse. Time guesser? Okay, quick time guesser. And then seriously, Jerome Powell. What's Scrandal? I've only heard people talk about Scrandal in reference to Northern Lion, but I've never actually seen it. Scrandal is the thrilling daily game of food comparison. Each item, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. Each item has a percentage rating as decided by social media polls. Click which food item you think has received the higher rating. Think about everything you see: the price, the country, the quality, and any included. Let's scran. What do I think is better? This pulled pork sandwich for €3 or this fried banana for €1? The pulled pork sandwich. Yeah, easy. Easy. Okay. The cheesy bacon fries for €3. Or these are £3 actually. Or the rice, beans, pork, eggs, and crackling for £4. I think, I don't know, man. I mean, this is a full meal. This is fine, but this could easily be not so good. I'd say this is a pretty decent price for a sporting event, but I think it's this. Oh, I'm wrong. Wow, this is slop. I'm mad now. I'm mad. Okay, we got to clutch up. All right. Dude, that was not that good to be weighted at 90%. That was... Okay. A cannoli? Or this ice cream looks fucking great. I mean, you do get 4 cannolis for $160. I don't fucking know, bro. I would pick the ice cream. God damn it. I hate Scrandle. What the fuck? Of course, the ice cream looks so good. Okay, it's a hot dog. I'm not picking the hot dog. I'm just not picking the hot dog. I would never pick the hot dog. And by the way, even if I liked hot dogs, which I don't, this hot dog looks like a fucking soup. This is disgusting. There's way too much stuff on this hot dog. You can't even see the dog. It's absurd. Why is there corn, peas, mustard, mayo, ketchup, parsley, and chives? Just put a little mustard on there. That looks messy and shitty. This mozzarella pizza looks tasty. Yes. Yes. Okay, we're back. We're scranning. Okay. Condensed milk, yogurt, ice cream, or fried chicken on a stick. If there's one thing I know about humanity, it's that we fucking love fried chicken on a stick. You can't beat fried chicken on a stick. It's always satisfying. Please. Yes. 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 Fried chicken on a stick. That's a universal delicious thing. Okay. Okay, now we're at cheese, bread, and sausage with a beer, or one of the worst looking pizzas I've ever seen. If this pizza somehow won, I would lose my mind. That looks terrible. Terrible. This fills you up and you got a beer. Okay, easy. Okay. Easy. A cohina, chicken croquette, or pork, beans, rice, egg, and collard greens for less than double. £3. This has got to be this. This dude's just happy he's got a beer with him. This doesn't even look that good. Yeah, easy. Okay, good. Good. Wait, we're clutching up. Okay. The world's most soupy hot dog again, and rice, beans, pork loin, fried egg, collard greens. This looks great. Yes, thank you. Oh, it was very close. That was very fucking close. Okay. A churro with caramel. Ooh, okay, this is a tough one. This is a tough one because it's two different worlds. It's savory and it's dessert. The truth is I got a soft spot for churros, okay? Lock me up. Throw away the key. I love a churro, dude. A churro is the perfect sporting event dessert. It's very fucking tasty. I love a good churro. But this also looks good. Like, you're going to feel better after you eat this. It's going to really fill you up. I don't know. I think I go churro and I lose my points and I don't care. I love churros. Yes! Yes! Yes, dude. Okay, wait, this game rules. Finally, you get rewarded for speaking your heart. Okay. Churro for churro. Okay. Chicken hearts on a stick or topiary with a beer. I've been picking everything that has a beer and been right. Chicken hearts on a stick doesn't seem nearly as good as chicken on a stick. And I'm right. It's not even close. Okay. Hey, 80%. That's passing. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's bad. That's not bad. That's a comeback. That's a comeback. That's actually pretty fun. Scrandle, huh? Let's keep that in mind. Let's keep a little scranning in mind for the future. A time guesser? Okay, but I play time guesser from the heart. I don't sit there and try to get all the fucking details. All right, so my score goal is a little lower than it should be. Because I don't want to sit there and I don't want to scan the fucking map. Time guesser, you just got to fucking take a vibe from it. Okay, vibe, black and white. Camel cigarettes. Maybe we're looking New York. I'm trying to think if this is European or I mean, I'm getting New York City. Okay, New York. So I'm getting New York in the 40s, 50s. This is New York in the 40s, 50s. Let's say 50s. Let's just click New York and let's do like 55. 40s, 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 40s. Okay. All right, not bad. Location, very good. 40s. Trust the gut. Okay. All right. Okay. Africa, but where? It is an election. It's an election in Africa. Champions of Magadi. That doesn't tell me enough. Am I seeing? Yeah. I'm trying to look at a shape that matches that. A shape that matches that. A shape that matches that. Maybe Mali? Is it election in Mali? Oh, I wish I could read that. It's some sort of election in some sort of African country. What year as well? Damn, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't want to overthink it. I kind of have to go from the gut. I got to go from the gut here. I think I miss. Let's do like. Let's just do here. Let's do here, and I think it's recent. Let's do like 2020. It's 2 years off? Actually, not bad. Actually, not bad. It was Kenya instead of South Sudan, but not... Okay, wow. I thought I was going to be much farther. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, pretty good. Okay, next, we got black and white photo, Amsterdam and Harlem, 10 cent per week, Conrad Cade. Okay, so are we thinking Northern Europe in the 20s? And we just say, fuck it? Like over here. Where's Amsterdam? So like, I don't know, like here. Maybe Utrecht. Utrecht in the 20s. 25. 45, but the location was good. I think I probably could have got that. 20s is, I think I was thrown off by this fucking guy. Yeah, okay. All right. Time guesser again. What we got here? National Bank of Dubai. That's helpful. Okay. Dubai in what year? Tough to say. I see a VW bus. Let's say 70s. Let's say Dubai in the 70s. Where's Dubai? Dubai in 75. Boom! Like fucking instant. Okay, let's go. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. 72. Okay, last one. If we break 30K, that's my goal on a speed round, all I have to do is not flub this completely. This looks like St. Petersburg, right? St. Petersburg, but let's get the year right. St. Petersburg, Russia in dude, I kind of want to say the 80s, but it's probably more realistically the 60s. Is there anything that would give me a clue as to the time? St. Petersburg, Russia. Or is this just Moscow? Do I just go for Moscow and tap it in? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay. I'm gonna drop it right in the heart of Moscow, and I'm gonna do 65. 67 in the red square. 97-97. Holy. Damn, brother. Okay. Okay. I was activated from my days in Russia. Have you heard of Worldle? Well, that was fun. You know which one sucks is Wordle. Wordle kicked everything off, and it's like trash. Movie to movie, but toggle the women only mode? I can't do it. I can't name a woman. I can't name a woman, so it wouldn't work. Even now, I can't think of a single one. Unless Hillary Clinton's in every movie, then I could probably do it. Movie to movie, movie to movie, movie to movie. Movie to movie? Oh, I do love Movie Grid. Wait, okay, just a few more, and then I do actually have a short presentation. I've been stalling, but I need to do it. Or Aja's just going to kill me, because he can't make a clip out of this. Expendables 4 to the burial. Okay. But I can think this through and do it in my head. Jamie Foxx is in Collateral with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is certainly in a movie with one of these people in Expendables 4. Done. It should be 2 clicks. It should be 2 clicks. It should be 2 clicks. Expendables 4 is kind of a weak cast, though. I'm noticing 50 Cent is nearly top billing. Expendables 4 is not Expendables 1. Okay, the cast has fallen off. If Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is top billing, then I don't know. Tommy Lee Jones could also be an easy way to do it. Tommy Lee Jones was in how do these movies? These guys are such action stars. They're only in action movies. It's got to be an ensemble. Like maybe it's like Helen Mirren in Fast and the Furious. I'm just going to go for it. Fuck it. Okay. Oh, it's the other way around anyway. Oh, no, you can reverse it. So I just need to get to the burial. One of these people. I could probably do this in 2, bro. I swear to COD. There's got to be a way to do this in 2. Andy Garcia? Tell me Andy Garcia's not in a movie with Jamie Foxx. Tell me Jason Statham's not in a movie with Jamie Foxx. Wait a minute. Tell me Megan Fox is not in a movie with Jamie Foxx. They're related. I don't know. I don't want to get caught out, but Andy Garcia. How do I get to Jamie Foxx or to... That's Wrath of Man? Oh, you know what I can do? I can do Andy Garcia to Ocean's 13, okay? To Brad Pitt, to Interview with a Vampire, to Tom Cruise, to Collateral, to Jamie Foxx, to The Burial. It's a lot of... What's the shortest possible? Jason Statham's in Parker with Billy... I never heard of Billy Slaughter. But that'll get you there. Jason Statham was not in Collateral. Okay. What about Movie Grid? And then I'm done. No, he wasn't. Jason Statham's not in Collateral. Stop saying it. Stop saying it like it's true. It's not true. Movie Grid. Collateral, Jason Statham. I'm looking at the cast. Starring Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx, Jada Pinkett Smith, Mark Ruffalo, Peter Berg, Javier Bardem, and Bruce McGill. Where the fuck is... Where's Jason Statham? Scroll to cast. Wait, what? Jason Statham as Airport Man? Did you add this? As Airport Man? Did you add this? I've seen this movie like 5 times. No way. Let me see. YouTube. No fucking way. Airport Man? What character is that? Jason Statham, Collateral. Tom Cruise in the airport. Oh my God. Is that it? How do you not remember Airport Man?
You okay? I'm fine, mate. Don't worry about it. You alright? Enjoy LA.
You know what? When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I did not know. He was Airport Man. He owned that scene. That was a perfect scene. You should have gotten an Oscar for that role, honestly. However, I think they don't count it. Because if I go Jason Statham, does it count Collateral? Oh, it does. Straight up. Yeah, I guess you could do it in 2. Wow, that's incredible. Best supporting actor. All right, well, I admit it. That's a deep cut. How the fuck do you guys know Jason Statham was Airport Man? That's mind blowing. How the fuck did you guys know that? Off the top of your head, someone else must have done this. Did fucking Northernline play us today or something? How the fuck did you know? It's not common knowledge. Did NL talk about this? How did? There is no fucking way you guys just knew off the top of your head. Oh yeah, Collateral, 2004. There's a scene. There's a 5-second scene where Jason Statham is Airport Man. It's his breakout role. No, it's not. No, it's not. Wisdom of crowds? Yeah, I guess so. All right, moviegrid.io. Give me the grid, bro. Ooh, this is gonna be a fucking toughie. This is gonna be a fucking toughie. Movie Grid, 9 guesses. Joaquin Phoenix, Kristen Stewart, and Don Cheadle. This one's easy. Joker. Joaquin Phoenix Joker. But let's make sure I got everything I need. This could be Gladiator. Okay. Gladiator. Boom. Joker. Boom. 3 or more word title. 3 or more word title for Joaquin Phoenix. I could have done her as well, I guess. Is he in Joker? Yeah, there you go. Easy. I'm sorry, Joaquin Phoenix. You have a storied career, and I used Joker twice. You've done so many good roles, and I've picked Joker and Joker. But that is the ways the cookie crumbles. Don Cheadle. One word title. Don Cheadle. One word title. Wasn't Don Cheadle in Iron Man 2? They hadn't replaced him with Terrence Howard yet, right? Am I crazy? Wasn't it still Don Cheadle, or was that only Iron Man 1? Do I take that risk? I don't know. Hotel Rwanda. Banger. I think I can Twilight all of these. I think I can Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2 and Twilight Eclipse. Okay. We're so close. I need a Don Cheadle 3 or more word title movie. And a 1 word title movie. Don Cheadle 1 word title. He's in Ocean's 11, but that's too many. He's not in. Is he in Snatch? Is he in? Oh, who up Don and they Cheadle, you know? I think Iron Man 2. I'm trying to think. Iron Man 2. When did they have that big blow up on his contract? I'm going to say fuck it. No, it's so risky. Ah, yes! 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 Fucking yes, dude. All right, one more and I actually clutched today. Oh, but 1 word Don Cheadle movie? Ignore the. Is he in The Banker? I think that's just racist. I think it is literally 2 entirely different black actors. Start listing movies with black actors. Oh, Don Cheadle, what are you in that's only 1 word? Let me look at his face. Let me really think about it. Dude, he looks so... You guys seen the clip of Don Cheadle and Kevin Hart? And Kevin Hart says, "How old are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm 65." And Kevin Hart goes, "Damn!" And then Don Cheadle's pissed off for the rest of the interview. And then Kevin Hart tries to walk it back, and he's like, "No, I meant damn in like a... I didn't mean like you were old." He's like, "Yes, you did." I don't know. Don Cheadle. He is in the... I don't know, bro. I can't think of a movie. I feel like I've seen him in a lot of things, but I can't think of it. This might be an L. He's he's the Dawn, and he's the Cheadle. I don't know. I got nothing. Possibly a give up angle. He's not in Joker. Endgame doesn't count. No. War Machine, Winnie the Pooh, SpongeBob, Family Guy. He's in Five Nights at Freddy's? Is he really? Oh, you're just looking at the ads. You're just looking at the ads. I don't know. He's not in Smallville. He's not. You guys are just putting Captain Planet. I said Snatch. Is he in Snatch? You fucked me. You fucked me. You died. Someone. Oh, Crash. He's in Crash. Show results. Volcano. Crash. Oh, he's in fucking Crash. Of course he is. Yeah, he's in Crash. That makes a lot of sense. Crash. And Traffic. And Flight. Is he in Flight? Don Cheadle's in Flight? Isn't that just Denzel? I don't remember in the Avengers. He was War Machine until he asked for too much money, and they just hard replaced him with Terrence Howard. They just, like, in the middle of the MCU, just fucking... Oh, other way around. I'm sorry. Other way around. Yeah. Other way around. Terrence Howard asked for too much money, and Don Cheadle stepped in. Well, I feel bad for Don Cheadle because I've been telling everybody he's greedy. I've been going around Hollywood, LA, and I've been telling him Don Cheadle is greedy. And like poor Terrence Howard. He invented math? What does that mean? Terrence Howard invented math? Terrence Howard math. Terrence Howard has developed his own mathematical theory called terology, which argues that basic mathematical principles are flawed and 1 times 1 equals 2.
Help me understand how, in your mind, to the average person who hasn't put amount of time that you have put in, credibility after 1 times 1 times 2, 1 times 1 equals 2. How do you come up with that conclusion?
Well, if I was wrong, then they wouldn't have made such a big stink about it. But the fact that I was able to show them with their calculator that because they have 1 times 1 equaling 1,
right,
an action times an action without a reaction, and as a result of it, you get this contradiction with the square root of 2 being cubed, having the same value as the square root of 2 times 2, which should say a red flag, a herring right away that there's something wrong with the mathematics, with that being the problem that leads into the distribution of prime numbers, because the number 2, any prime number that you subtract from another prime number, always is going...
Dude, this is him in contract negotiations for his salary on Iron Man 2. This was it. You don't understand. Like, you have to carry the one... Damn, that's my goat, actually.
To end up in a composite number, but except with the case of the number 2. That's the only prime number that you subtract from another prime number and you end up in a prime number. Why? Because the prime number 2 is a composite number.
Help me understand how, in your mind...
That's the goat. That's the goat right there. Bro's on to everything. Tell him, Terrence. This is what being in Pearl Harbor does to you. Well, is there no more fun movie games? I'm actually really enjoying movie games. There's not even one more movie game. No, I don't want to play Cinetube Nerdle. That's too much. I already did movie to movie. I could do Movie Pyramid, I guess. I could do Movie Pyramid. Harry Potter's not a game. I mean, it is a game, I guess, but not a movie game. It is a movie game, but not what I'm talking about. Dude, there's so many fucking ads. Released from 2000 to 2025, Tom Hardy. So 4 Tom Hardy movies in the last 25 years? That should be easy. Venom. Batman, or what? The Dark Knight Rises. Inception. And Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage. Okay, easy. 3 or more word title and Marissa Tomei. Spider-Man, I guess. Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man Homecoming. Excuse me? Spider-Man Far From Home? I screwed up? She's not in Homecoming? Zoomer's freaking the fuck out because it's the one after she died or something. Everyone's losing their fucking mind. They're frothing at the mouth that I didn't remember that Marissa Tomei died in the other one. Okay. Well, what about what's the hilarious movie with Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei, and it's a courtroom drama? What is that movie called? That's such a great movie. I can't think of it. Marissa Tomei and what is that movie? Are these Magic Grits? I don't fucking know that movie. My Cousin Vinny! I cheated, but that is the movie I was thinking of. My Cousin Vinny! Yeah. Okay. Double letter word in title. X Michael Caine. Double letter word in title. Can you explain that? Same letter repeated consecutively in one word. Okay, I see. Okay. Is Michael Caine in Oppenheimer? Who wasn't in Oppenheimer? Michael Caine is in the Michael Caine. I'm just gonna guess Oppenheimer, dude. What are the chances it's not in there? It's not. Okay. Well, I don't fucking know then. Michael Caine. Batman Begins? That doesn't have a double. I don't fucking know Michael Caine. What about Interstellar? He's in that. That's easy. Interstellar. And then, is there just another? Prestige? It doesn't have a double letter. Is Dunkirk? Doesn't have a double letter. Michael Caine, I don't know what the fuck else you're in. The Gentleman, is he in that? I don't know. I don't know Michael Caine. I don't know. Fuck you. Gold Member? That's not Michael Caine. And that's also not a double letter. What a Michael Caine in the ass. The bank heist one? What bank heist one? Now You See Me? You guys are just saying movies. Oh, he is the dad in Goldmember, but it's also not double letter. John Wick with 2 eyes. Alfred is not a movie. You're just naming a character that you know he played. No, he's not in Mommy Milkers. He's not in the Avengers. Tenet is not a double letter. None of these are real suggestions. Now You See Me. right, Michael Caine. Sebastian Stan, one-word title. Oh. Fucking Game of Thrones before it went bad. Oh, he's in like the Eternals or Eternals. Game over. Was that wrong? Show results. He's in The Apprentice? I didn't see The Eternals. I'm not going to fucking front. Who wants to see The Eternals? He wasn't in that? Oh, Kit Harington was. Yeah, he wasn't in it. I thought he was. Sebastian Stan. He was in some kind of fucking... Oh, he was fucking Bucky Barnes. He's Bucky. All right. Well, there you go. Winter Soldier. All right. You're thinking of Richard Madden. I am thinking of Richard Madden. I'm thinking of Richard Madden. Atrioc beating the racist allegations because he can't tell white people apart. I can't tell Europeans apart. Marissa Tomei is in Spider-Man Homecoming, by the way. It was wrong because Spider-Man is hyphenated and makes the title 2 words. Oh my God! She was in Homecoming! But it was Spider-Man, one word. Oh, that's so fucked. That's so fucked. Guess the movie by the Letterboxd review? Wait, what the fuck is this? Welcome to Guess the Movie. You get 5 reviews to guess the movie? Wait, what? Okay. David Sims in 2018 said, maybe go live by the Hoover Dam or something. Jeez. 10,000 hearts? Maybe go live by the Hoover Dam or something. Okay. Skip guess. Everyone walking around barefoot like it's a fucking Quentin Tarantino fantasy. 4.5 stars. It's a 2018 movie. A film made the way in which cinema's meant to be seen. So the asshole sitting next to you, scarfing down popcorn like a rabid squirrel, actually feels like an asshole in addition to merely being one. How is that related to the movie? Someone in the movie makes a noise. The movie gives a Jim Halpert fourth wall breaking look to the audience. What fucking movie is this? Oh, it's, I know what it is. It's the fucking Quiet movie. It's the fucking Quiet movie. It's the fucking Quiet. It's probably called Quiet or something. A Quiet Place. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Go live by the Hoover Dam. I get it. Wait, can you do another one? Can I do another one? One more. It's kind of funny. Okay. Why was this film with a pink Motorola Razr? I guess 2019. I love how at some point this turns into a wholesome road trip movie, and I would have totally been fine if that was just the rest of it. Okay. If I was in that situation, first thing I would have done is poo in Buckingham Palace. Okay. A list of things that will always be scarier than zombies. Men. Oh, it's 28 days later. Or 28 weeks later. Or 28 years later, I guess. No, wait. That doesn't make sense. I guess 28 weeks later. It was days. Fuck me. You're what? This dude's watching this 20 years after it came out and making jokes about British people? That is a funny joke. You should try Disorderly. What is that? This is kind of a funny one, honestly. You get to see a little bit about people. I felt like I showed up 2 hours before the final exam for a class I never attended and tried to skim through the entire textbook. I failed the exam, but at least there's a bunch of cool pictures. Still glad they have earplugs. Oh. If it was the night before my marriage to David Lynch and I watched the movie, I'd probably call it. Okay. Okay. Wow, this does not give me much. This does not give me much. I don't know. I was going to say like Blade Runner or something. 2049. Or Tenet or something. What David Lynch movie came out in 2017? The years are throwing me off. The years are throwing me off. I need to not think about the years. I'm just going to say Tenet. Fuck it. No, that doesn't make sense. It was Dune. Oh, it was Dune. The original Dune. Okay, the years are... I'm like trying to focus on the years, and they don't tell you anything. People just review movies after they came out. It turns out they come out. They just review movies after they came out, which is totally fine. The OG. All right, one more, and then I'm done. One more on this one, then I'm done. Really solid comedy, but the main takeaway is that Teslas should be the main villain in movies more often. What movie is this? My mom told me to watch this, and she said the kid in the movie reminded her of me. So I watched it, and his whole thing is he's the least fuckable person ever. So now I feel a little self-conscious, but other than that, it was funny or whatever. Not talking to my parents the whole way. Oh, is this this is the Jennifer Lawrence movie where the parents pay her to have sex with their kid. Oh, I don't remember what it's called. Just tell me what it's called. It's the No Hard Feelings. Yeah. Okay. That's the one. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's one. Okay. Fun. Let's talk about Jerome H. Powell. Because our good friend, Jerome Powell, has had it up to here. Okay? Fix it. Jerome Powell's had it up to here. Today was Jerome Powell's final speech at Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Jackson Hole, a very, very beautiful part of the country where rich people fly in and pay zillions of dollars to ski and buy mansions and hang out. And every year, once a year around August, some of the central banking elite from all over the world fly out to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and they talk about central banking and discuss things and debate things and make plans. And then Jerome Powell, as chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve, gives a speech sort of giving an idea of this sort of state of the Fed, what economic policy is like, what they're looking at, what they see going forward. It's a pretty important speech. It's always listened to very closely and analyzed very closely. This is going to be his last one today, this morning. I watched it in bed. I literally woke up to my phone. Ari was annoyed. And did I cry? Yeah, I was tearing up. It's the end of an era. We're losing the GOAT. Listen, I've had my qualms with Jerome Powell, but as his time comes to the end, I have to say he's been a remarkably stable central banker. And he has done a good job at resisting political pressure. So I give him respect, even if he was late to inflation. And so anyway, this is his last one, but because by early 2026, he's going to be replaced. Trump has made it very, very clear that he wants Jerome Powell out. He can't force him out without panicking the markets, but when his term is up in May of next year, he'll be gone, so he will not make it to another Jackson Hole. quick reminder before we go over his speech today of the basics of central banking. They have what is called a dual mandate. A dual mandate is not one gay date. It is when you have two key goals. All right? The two key goals of America's central bank, their dual mandate, are price stability and full employment. So the two things they're scared of are inflation, prices going up, and everyone getting fired. Okay? These are the two things they are scared of. And their central goal is to stop these two things. That is the goal of the central bank. Now, these problems are in opposition. Okay? So, if you think the biggest problem is inflation, what you want to do is raise interest rates to slow down the economy, cool things off, prevent prices from rising, okay? If you think the biggest problem is employment and everyone's getting fired, you want to lower interest rates so that it's easy to borrow money, people start spending more, jobs pick up, the economy starts going, okay? This is the main basics. Dual mandate, and you base on which one's the bigger problem. Now, the key part of this speech is Jerome Powell saying, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about our dual mandate. They're kind of both a problem.
Policy. In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside, a challenging situation. When our goals are in tension like this, our framework calls for us to balance both sides of our dual mandate. Our policy rate is now 100 basis points closer to neutral than it was a year ago, and the stability of the unemployment rate and other labor market measures allows us to proceed carefully as we consider changes to our policy stance.
In layman's terms, you could say we're fucked. But yeah, I think he would say it's not easy. We're not in an easy environment, okay? We have risks to both directions, so we can't very easily decide to raise or lower rates. That's the main thing. However, the speech goes on. There's much more to be said. And I want you to understand the context going into this meeting is that everybody in the world, basically everybody, is telling Jerome Powell, you got to lower rates. You got to juice the economy. The bigger risk is employment. Don't worry about inflation as much. Worry about that. This is what everyone with power is saying. Trump is saying it. Wall Street's saying it. Even Jim Cramer cursed on national TV. Jim Cramer, by the way, classic Wall Street TV show. Jim Cramer came out and said,
our biggest problem is we have so much growth that the Fed won't cut.
What the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I take it right back.
Everybody,
I take it right back.
It's
That was
okay.
bad.
It's okay. We're in the moment.
I take it right back. I take it right back. That was bad.
It's cable with a ticker, as Jim Cramer would say.
I take that back.
That's right.
Real people doing live TV.
No.
Jim, though, to your point, Goldman today, the most notable.
bro, it's so funny. He's apologized more for that than for giving people bad trading advice for 20 years. He's ruined a lot of people's retirements, but he's apologizing for saying fuck. Who cares, dude? Anyway, so Jerome Powell went on and he discussed both of these problems in bigger detail. First up was inflation.
Rising unemployment. At the same time, GDP growth has slowed notably in the first half of this year to a pace of 1.2%, roughly half the 2.5% pace in 2024. The decline in growth has largely reflected a slowdown in consumer spending. As with the labor market, some of the slowing in GDP likely reflects slower growth of supply or potential output. Turning to inflation, higher tariffs have begun to push up prices in some categories of goods. Estimates based.
So I want to pause and say, people thought, because this is his last speech, he was going to go to town on Trump. People were saying he might just let it all rip. He might just talk some shit. Jerome Powell, as always, kept his cool. But he did include many, many references to how shitty tariffs are. He did, throughout the speech, constantly say how his job is much harder because of the economic uncertainty of tariffs.
categories of goods. Estimates based on the latest available data indicate that total PCE prices rose 2.6% over the 12 months ending in July. Excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.9%, above their level of a year ago. Rising unemployment.
What he's saying there is that they have a goal for inflation. You know, I said that one of their dual mandates is inflation. Their goal is to keep inflation to 2%. That's the idea. They've decided that 0% inflation is no good. They need a little bit of inflation, and the goal is 2%. It's kind of an arbitrary number, but that's been the number, 2%. And as you guys know, when we lived through it in 2021 and post-COVID, is inflation, you know, it kind of looked like this. It was around 2%, a little under actually. Then it spiked way up during COVID, and now it's headed back down. Okay? After they raise interest rates. The problem is, it never got back down to 2%. It never got back down. It stalled out around 2.7, 2.8, and is now kind of slowly rising again. So it never actually got back to what we want. And by the way, the prices are not even, this is still prices going up, not even going down. Like, so you would say, and Jerome Powell has said this in previous meetings, the job is not done. We haven't even broken the back of inflation yet. Like, inflation is still sticky. It's still above where we want. And he's sort of making that case here. So if you listen to just this part of the speech, you would think, oh, okay, they're going to keep rates high. They're not going to lower rates because inflation is not defeated yet. But he went on.
While the labor market appears to be in balance, it is a curious kind of balance that results from a marked slowing in both the supply of and demand for workers. This unusual situation suggests that downside risks to employment are rising.
So let's explain that a little bit. He's basically saying the labor market hasn't cracked yet, okay? Everyone's not on the streets. Everyone's not unemployed. However, we're not seeing new jobs. What we're seeing is what you might call a no hire, no fire job market, where if you have a job, you're relatively safe from being fired right now. But if you don't have one, it's almost impossible to find one. It's like this limbo. There's like no job openings, but there's not mass layoffs. And what he says in this is when you're in a no hire, no fire situation, the risk of it becoming a really bad situation is very high. Because if it goes no hire, no fire into no hire, some fire, or a lot of fire, then suddenly everyone's unemployed and there's no jobs, okay? The risks are very high. And this is what I've been saying nonstop for a long time now. I mean, this is how previous recessions have started, is like it goes into a limbo and then the layoffs start and then things are really bad, okay? And he is basically saying that here. He's saying...
Okay. And if those risks materialize, they can do so quickly in the form of sharply higher layoffs and rising unemployment.
Yes.
At the same time, GDP growth has slowed notably in the first half of this year to a pace of 1.2%, roughly half the 2.5% pace in 2024. The decline in growth has largely reflected a slowdown in consumer spending. As with the labor market, some of the slowing in GDP likely reflects slower growth of supply or potential output. Turning to inflation, higher tariffs have begun to push up prices in some categories of goods. Estimates based on the latest available data indicate that total PCE prices rose to...
So I already covered that, but here's the basic thing, all right? So over the course of this speech, he basically says, look, inflation's a problem, unemployment's a problem. But if we had to be honest here, we're more scared of unemployment than we are of inflation. And he gives two reasons. The main one is that they see tariffs as a one-time price increase. So it's not really inflation. To a consumer, that doesn't fucking matter. Everything's more expensive. But what he's saying to an economist, you know, if your shoes are 25% more expensive because of the 25% tariff, that's a one-time thing and it's done. You get used to that eventually and it's not It's not continually rising. And I guess I could sort of see that argument, but I think it I think it underestimates the pain on consumers from that price increase, but okay. And then he also said this, and this is pretty important. Tariffs are not just going to hurt the inflation side of our mandate. It's also going to hurt the job side of our mandate. Tariffs are hurting both. And, you know, there's layoffs coming because of tariffs, which is very true. And they decided, this is the biggest takeaway from the meeting. This is because, again, the point of these meetings, he'll never say exactly what they're going to do. He will always say, we're going to be data dependent and you don't know our decision. But people have become very good at reading into what they're saying to try and guess whether they're going to cut rates or raise rates. It's like a everyone watches closely. They write down every word. They try to study it. Okay. That's very studied. And what they realized is that the main takeaway was he said, we are no longer trying to get down to the 2% goal. Instead, we have a new framework that tries to get like an average of 2% over a long period of time. And once you say that, the jig is up. You're basically saying that you're giving up the fight on inflation in order to hopefully save the job market. That is what you're saying. That becomes very clear. Like you're pulled in two directions and you are giving up the inflation fight to try and help the job fight. And so the market understood very quickly the time has come for rate cuts. Jerome Powell is going to do what Wall Street and Donald Trump has wanted for a while, cut rates, juice the economy. And he may be right to do so. I don't want to act like this is like him giving in to Trump. He's held his ground for a long time. It may just be that the job market is so bad that they have to start getting ahead of it. And it's like, inflation be damned. We can't have everyone be unemployed. That is a possibility. It is real. The poly market for this spiked around during the meeting, but very quickly, the blue line, which is cutting rates, clearly is the winner. People seem to think after this meeting that, 80% chance they're cutting rates, almost no chance they hold steady. Now, if you know anything about the stock market, this was crack cocaine to them. When the stock market hears about rate cuts, a fucking gigantic green line comes out of the ground and everything goes green. Okay? Even though in actuality, the rate cut usually doesn't matter that much. The mere idea of it coming is so juicy to markets that we had a real green day as everyone digested Powell's words. Now, it's tough because I have respect for Jerome Powell in ways, and I do think he's being data dependent here. And I agree that the labor market is terrible, so maybe he's the right thing to do. But I read some financial opinions that have dissenting voices that basically said, look, stocks are at all-time highs. There's still meme stocks. There's still a ton of frothy activity in the market. Housing is still at all-time highs. Are you going to tell me we need to fucking cut rates? It's crazy. And I could agree with that. They're going to run this hot like you can't even believe. This is like, the logical conclusion here is that we're going to see a real weakness in the dollar. Probably a real rise in gold. Like, this sounds like inflation is going to come rip-roaring back, would be the takeaway. A real rip-roaring. So that was Jerome Powell's speech today. I wanted to give you an update on what happened. Jerome Powell is pretty much committing to a rate cut in September to hopefully get things going and save the labor market. I do think combining that with tariffs, things are going to get really expensive. What was the last dot plot? I think dot plots are over discussed in this chat with people that want to mention that they know what dot plots are. The truth is that there's never been a dot plot that overruled the central banker. Like, Jerome Powell's decision sets the course. People follow his, you know what I'm saying? It's, their opinions matter. But mostly right now, the dot plot is just the opinions of the other voters of the other, what is it? Federal banks, like they vote. Yes, I know they vote, but he makes his opinion known, and then they vote on that. There's never a situation where he gets outvoted. It's never happened. So, his word is what matters in this. And what I'm saying is, right now, the dot plot, we can pull it up. The dot plot of the votes. Here. People are using their vote and their public dissent to signal, at least recently, that they would like to be considered for Jerome Powell's job. So, like, people that are, like, saying, hey, we need to cut really hard and fast, we need to, like, the ideal thing is a huge cut, is they're saying, they're signaling to Trump that they would be a great choice because they're going to cut rates. Is the idea. That's the, there's like, it's a little bit of politics to it, not just pure data dependency. So anyway, that's where we find ourselves. Is rates are going to get cut. Possibly will juice the stock market. Possibly will juice Trump's polling numbers. Possibly will juice the economy. But will likely lead to a weakness in the dollar and inflation running higher than average. I feel like nobody's discussing the effect of Powell's term ending in May. Didn't I just discuss that? Won't it be devastating when Trump nominates a puppet who acts on a whim? It depends on how independent his nominee is seen as being. And their background. But yeah, this is a real risk. If Trump nominates like the fucking Heritage Foundation guy he brought into the White House to be chairman of the Federal Reserve, and he starts immediately cutting rates, people will flee the dollar. Yeah, of course. Or Ron Vara, yeah. Or Eric Trump. Yeah, for sure. It is a big risk, for sure. 100%. Jerome said something about GDP slowing down to 1.2 from 2.5. I'm not sure what this percentage means. That's just GDP growth for the country. And all he's saying is that the economy is slowing down, that the growth is slowing down, that American growth is slowing down. I think 1.2 is kind of in line with previous years, though. It's not horrendous. But GDP is not a great stat, I think. Rick Sway something with 5 gifted. I gotta blow my nose. 1 second. I gotta blow my nose. I gotta blow my nose. Will this impact the midterms? Yes. Well, they want it to. That's why this thing calls him Max Burns. Okay? This post calling him Full Burns is not a reference to Monty Burns from Simpsons. It's a reference to Arthur Burns, who was a central banker under Nixon, who got pressured into cutting before a big election. And the idea is that these cuts are somewhat politically motivated, at least on Trump's side. Trump wants them for that reason, because it's good for your election standing to cut rates. It juices the economy in the short term, and you don't feel the inflation till later, which helps you with polling. It depends on how fast inflation roars back, honestly. I guess what I'll say is, if I want to summarize my thoughts here, because it's kind of mixed. They are in a tough spot, and maybe the right call is a small cut. I'm actually not opposed to this cut. It's more that I think they're underestimating how angry people already are with inflation. And that if it were to happen again before we even got back to normalcy, I think the anger is going to be so severe. People are really at their edge when it comes to inflation, is what I would say. No. Not the Cochler. People get angry. What does that actually mean? I mean, usually it means they vote out the incumbent or they punish you at the polls, if that's an option. I can't wait for the 0.25 cut so I can finally buy a new car and a house. Worth noting, too, that, in other places like the UK where they've cut more dramatically, it doesn't even trickle through. This is a harder thing to explain, but this is just the short term. Like, this interest rate will not affect the interest rate on a house loan. It can, but it likely won't. How do I... It's supposed to work like this. If I can give my money to the government and they pay 5%, okay? This is guaranteed. The government always pays back. So if I'm going to give my money to you, I'm going to charge you more. I'll never give it to you at 5% because you're riskier than the government. So it might be for you on a house loan, I'll do 7%. And for you on a car loan, I'll do 15% because it's riskier. Or on a credit card, I'll do 20%, okay? And so the idea is if they cut this rate, these will also fall. Because these are all based on being higher than this one. Everything has to be higher than the one below it. That's the idea, okay? But in actuality, that hasn't been happening. They just cut this and then nothing changes here. Sometimes these even go up. If they raised it, these would go up. If this went to 8%, right? If the government loan one, well, then this would have to go to 9 because you are riskier than the government. You're riskier. Everything let it go up. But usually when it goes down, these also follow suit, but they haven't been. how far possible you see a future where the dollar becomes less and less used and the world economy shifts towards using the Chinese yen or North American currency. This is like a whole different topic. This is like a whole bigger topic. I read a book called King Dollar recently that opened my eyes to some certain arguments that I hadn't been considering. What I would say is the idea that it's going to go to the Chinese RMB is not likely. The idea that it's going to go to anything really, except for possibly maybe in a freak world, the euro, but realistically, no currency could do it. So, you know, more likely it's going to be a weaker dollar, but either still the dollar, which I think is still probably the likely outcome, because there's really nothing else that can do it. There's no other reserve currency candidate. Or something I've been sort of talking about for a while is that like countries will just settle in their own currencies and the rest of the balance will be done in gold. Because here's why you need a reserve currency, right? So let's say I'm, I don't know, fucking France. I'm France. This is France. Okay? This is France. And this is, what's like a really far away country that have nothing in common? Let's do China. Let's just China. Okay? Let's just do China. China or Brazil would be fine. Brazil would also be good. Okay? So China sends, $50 million worth of goods, okay, to France. And France sends 25 million back. Okay? So, plus cash. Because they didn't balance. Okay? So, China ends up with a bunch of money. The goods don't equal out. So, one side is always going to end up with goods plus cash, is the idea, is what I'm saying. The balance of trade doesn't equal out with any country. So, somebody always ends up with cash. And if I end up with a bunch of your useless currency that I already have all the goods I want from you. I don't want any more of your currency. The only thing I want is money I can spend elsewhere. The reason you want a reserve currency is you want to end up with cash that I can use in a variety of situations. I can go with this currency and go buy oil or something with it. And if I have a bunch of francs or I have a bunch of RMB, I can't use that. So you want the settled amount to be in a currency I can use all over the world. That's why you want a reserve currency. You want something that's usable outside of this individual trade. Okay? And what might happen is that countries will just trade this amount in their, like they'll just buy and sell with francs and RMB until they have the trade. And then whatever's left, this last 25, will be settled in gold. And France will send gold. You know? That's the idea. But it's no francs, it's euros, by the way. France is probably a bad example because it's part of the European Union, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, imagine so the country with the greatest trade surplus will be at an advantage to... no, actually. Not really, because now we're getting really in the weeds, but if you're the country like China with the greatest trade surplus, it's like impossible for you to get enough of your currency out into the world. Because nobody ever ends up with your currency. They always end up with your goods. The reason the USD runs such a deficit is because it gets all the dollars out into the world. We buy way more than we make. So everybody ends up with dollars. As if this was USD. USA. So again, I think there's a lot of reasons that China could not be the reserve currency. I mean, the other reason is that they have very strict capital controls on all their money, and you can't do anything with it. Listen, no country wants to end up with a whole bunch of RMB, which is the Chinese currency. They don't want to do it. I think it's very unlikely that would be the... The USA is in the perfect spot to continue being the reserve currency if we didn't run massive, massive debts and print money, which inflates it away, which makes it so nobody wants to hold it. Nobody wants to give us goods, get back US dollars, and then we print more US dollars to make these less valuable. This stack of greenbacks. We've been doing this for a long time, but as it gets more and more egregious, people don't, it's not a good deal for them. We get physical cars, we get physical goods, we get gold, we get precious metals, we get everything, and then all they get is this paper that we are constantly printing more of. It's not a sustainable system for them. They're getting diluted like Eduardo Saverin. Yeah, exactly. They use the USD usually to hold treasuries or stocks, so it's not completely... Yeah, they do. They usually put it in treasuries. Well, that's what they used to do. They don't really do it anymore. They do it a lot less. On net, central banks have been buying less and less U.S. treasuries and more gold. Can you further explain the advantage the U.S. gets by being the reserve currency? Sure. Is there a part of that I wasn't making sense? I know my drawings aren't very good. I'll give you that. I never worked at Blizzard, so I'm trying to make it work as much as I can. But they call it exorbitant privilege, the U.S. dollar. You know, and it's basically that if I'm the UK, right, and I want to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, if I want to buy soybeans from Brazil, if I want to buy all this stuff, it just trades in dollars. Most people want dollars because they know they can use dollars to buy other things. Maybe Brazil wants to sell you soybeans and then buy oil. And so they don't want pounds, you know? They don't want your currency because if they end up with it, they can't buy anything from the Saudis with it. That's the idea. So everybody wants dollars so they can do this global trade. That's why it's the reserve currency. It just is the most convenient to have. You can use it to buy a lot of things. You can buy stocks and real estate, and it's very convenient to have. And because everybody in this trade, this is a 3-country trade that doesn't have the U.S. in it involved, and they're all using dollars. Because of this, over here in the USA, we have the power to print dollars. So we can print money and they have to deal with the inflation. All of these partners have to deal with the inflation, not just our own citizens. If Brazil prints money, Brazilian citizens get inflated. If Saudi prints money, Saudi citizens get inflated. But if we print money, yes, we get inflated, but so does everyone else. The globe gets inflated. So it's like it's a powerful privilege until you abuse it too much. That makes sense. Thanks. All right. Hopefully that helps. Why wouldn't the Saudis take francs? I mean, francs aren't real. I shouldn't use that as an example. Francs are long dead. It's the euro now, but I was using an example of a French specific currency. But the reason they wouldn't want the currency of this country is that that currency is really only useful for buying things from that country. That's, if Brazil buys oil and gives you the Brazilian real, I can only buy things back from them. But if I don't want anything from them, then I'm stuck with this currency. So what you want is a currency you can go do things with. It's like store credit. Yeah, in a way. In a way. Why can't we just have a whole separate currency called glizzy just for the countries to... Why can't we have a whole separate currency called glizzy just for countries to play Monopoly with then that only governments can hold and use? Okay. Aside from the name, which is really perfect, it's not like only, this is the trade between the countries. The trade is happening from individual people. Corporations are buying. It's not just like Brazil as a government is buying things from Saudi Arabia and it's the trade. It's the balance of trade. So it's a bunch of individual people. And the individual people can't hold glizzy because they want to hold the currency of the country they live in. If I live in the USA, I need to own dollars because that's what my taxes are doing. I can't pay my taxes with euros. I can't pay my taxes with RMB. I can only pay my taxes with dollars. So I need dollars. I have to have it. So every citizen has to have the currency of their country because that's what they pay taxes in. Someone with a gun is telling you need this currency. And that's what gives them the power to print it. So I need to have this currency. And then when I buy from somewhere else, they get my currency. And they need to find a way to make it useful. Could there ever be one world currency? I mean, maybe, but the thing is, governments really like having their own sovereign currency. Governments like having their own currency because it allows them to print when things get tough. Otherwise, you end up like, not necessarily it's a bad thing, but it had happened no matter what. But if you're Greece and you run out of money and you're part of the EU, well, then you can't do shit. You don't control the printing press for the euro. You just have to beg, which they did. Greece had to go and beg, and then people other than their own government had to come in and put austerity measures on them and cut their spending and like choose what they could do. However, I want to say this has paid off. Greece is actually doing quite well now. Greece is like in a more entrepreneurial state. They've balanced their budget a lot better. Like Greece went through a really terrible couple decades. But they are on a period of growth right now after some tougher times. But governments don't want that because no matter, like long term, maybe it worked out okay for Greece. But in the short term, everyone got voted out. There was riots in the streets. Everyone was pissed. Nobody wants to be the government that can't print when times are tough. So nobody wants a one world government. Everybody wants their own currency. I live in a country neighboring Greece. Let me tell you, when the stats might seem good, the average Greek is fucked. I'll take your anecdote at face value, and I assure you that there's probably some problems there. But I did just listen to a pretty in-depth podcast with people who live in Greece who were talking about it, talking about the 20-year stagnation, talking about the riots, talking about how a corner has been turned, how, I don't know. I would say there's more than what you're saying. What if we just had a universal currency printed by the UN that any country would allow to be exchanged for their respective currency, similar to how gold works? But what is that currency backed by? You know, what is it backed by? Who can print it? If I owe a debt in that currency, I think it's a lot harder to change the system than you guys are thinking. But it's happening. What I'm saying is it's happening. If the U.S. keeps doing things that make the dollar weaker over and over and over, people aren't going to want to hold dollar. That's just the fucking fact of it. They don't want to hold U.S. government debt because they don't trust it. And they don't want to hold dollars because we keep printing it. And we run insane deficits. So they're trying to find ways to settle. Like China's doing this thing. This is actually a fucking crazy thing China's doing. Let's say I'm an African country. Let's say I'm Kenya. All my countries are squares because I can't draw shapes. Let's say I'm Kenya and I owe a bunch of USD somewhere. I have some loan that I have to pay. So every year I need to come up with a bunch of USD. I need dollars to pay these debts. China has started. China has plenty of dollars. China has plenty of dollars because they're always trading with us. And so they have plenty of dollars. China is coming in and saying, hey, we will give you the USD. I need green. We will give you the USD to pay off your debt. In exchange, you will owe us RMB. Okay? We're going to pay your debt off and you owe us. So all your debt to whatever country is gone. Now the debt only is owed to us. And so now Kenya every year is like, well, we don't need USD. We need RMB. We need to come up with this money to pay this debt. How do we do that? We trade more with China. Okay? That's the idea. So now the best way to get this money is to trade more with China. It's a smart plan. It's happening. And you can only do it if you had a ton of extra USD, which China does. That they don't want. But, you know, this is not like the beginning of RMB becoming a reserve currency, I wouldn't say. This is more of like a building of China's political and trading power. Is it like buying the debt? Yeah, it's kind of like buying the debt. Yeah. It's kind of just exchanging the debt for a different thing. And then, you know, if you want to call it debt trap, again, both sides are trying to debt trap Kenya, I'd be clear. I just want to be clear that nobody's helping Kenya out of the best interest of their heart. Both kinds want soft power in Africa. They want, right? But what they'll put as collateral, they'll put like, you owe us this amount of RMB per month because you paid off your debt. Like they exchange the debt. And as collateral, it'll be like a port. You know, it'll be a port, or it'll be like, you know, a railway contract, or what. It'll be like important strategic areas in the country. And so if they can't come up with the money, then suddenly you get this. That's the idea. Or rare earth metal contract, or yeah, whatever. It'll be like an oil site, whatever. That's the idea. That is the But more of it is just getting them off of the USD and the RMB. Do you think the UK will try to rejoin the EU? No, I don't. I don't think so. I think they're out. The UK already made a separate trade deal from the EU. I don't know why they would want to join at this point. I don't think they do it. You think they should? I don't think they should have left, but I don't know if rejoining now will do much. I don't know. That's tough to say. Say it was a prank. We were goofing. The thing about if you join the EU, I mean, there's a lot of benefits on trade, and there's a lot of benefits on, being able to move freely. Your government loses the ability again to print. They lose the ability to control their own currency, to make their own central bank decisions, to cut and raise rates at their own leisure. And governments really like that. They don't like to have to go to the EU and like do a vote. They don't like, they like the freedom. UK was in the EU and still had the pound. Yeah, but they, I don't think they were able to have their same central bank control. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought for sure they got more central banking freedom after they left the. Not that I'm pro them leaving the EU, but I thought there was an advantage. I'll have to look it up. Maybe they did have exemptions. It's possible. I thought their whole thing was they want to have to allow immigrants or something. I mean, the way they left was a really terrible, like, populist campaign about how the EU was ripping them off and we'll get rid of all the immigrants and UK is going to be great again. And obviously none of that happened. The way they pitched it to public was horrendous. It didn't, for the average person, it didn't benefit them at all to leave the EU. But for the government, I think they like having the freedom. But maybe I'm misremembering what their exemptions were. 10% of Intel. Powell's a GOAT, gonna miss him. I am too. I'm gonna miss him compared to whoever we get next, bro. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I am. So today, Trump administration announced they are buying 10% of Intel, taking a government stake. It's a very China move. It hasn't been done, at least recently. There's been like examples during war, maybe, or very brief periods, or like the recession, Great Recession. We took some pieces of the housing banks. We've done some bailouts in the past, but this is like more of a long-term national champion kind of thing. Like Intel doesn't need the money. So we're taking 10% of the company. It's not, I'm not supportive of it really. I don't like the government picking a winner and having a favored national champion. And I think Intel sucks. Low key. I think it's just wasted money. It's like fucking just throwing money at a problem of a bad managed company. An NVIDIA employee would say that? Yeah, probably, but I mean, can you blame me? Intel sucks. And I'm an Intel customer would say that. I've been buying terrible Intel products for a long time now. Sounds like the opposite of typical Republican. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that is the bigger takeaway. How this is going to play out with Intel is hard to say right now, but you know, I've probably mentioned this before, but this is a great example. There was a time when you had like, I don't know, the quote unquote Republican Party, which you would say is like, I call them like Mitt Romney types, you know, the guys that are like, yeah, low taxes, small government. They've always had really weird social stances that I can never find myself. But there was the idea of like, there was conservative financial sides. This party no longer exists. It's already been dying for a long time, but this doesn't exist. It has been completely skinned alive by Donald Trump. It is just MAGA. It's a whole separate party. It's completely taken over, and they don't care about. None of this matters. This was never very popular to begin with. It's dead. Yeah, this doesn't exist. I don't think anyone of this type has any power anymore. Like that Jeb Bushy, Mitt Romney. These people are all gone. They're extinct. Rand Paul. Yeah, I guess Rand Paul. Maybe Rand Paul is the last one. Maybe Rand Paul is a traditional conservative in like the, I don't know, the Eisenhower sense. But these don't exist. And so, yeah, MAGA's completely taken it over. And they have entirely different Squeaks. I'm sorry. And Squeaks. No, Squeaks is MAGA through and through. Squeaks is not Mitt Romney, dude. Squeaks is MAGA. Full. Yeah, John McCain is who I was really thinking of. John McCain types. Anyway, yeah, you know, and the policy of MAGA is way more. It's like really, it's about big government. It's about, you know, it's the same thing. It's just different on what they spend it on, but they want it to be bigger. They want a massive deficit. They want, all neocon Republicans for the last 50 years have been small. Yeah, but they didn't do it. I wouldn't say they ever actually followed through on it when they got any power. Talking about it doesn't mean anything. The government's never gotten smaller. Like Reagan is a classic example of like, the worst thing government can be is big. The worst thing you can hear is the government's here to help. And then he blew out the deficit. The government got way bigger. Reagan's words and his actions were 100% at odds. Bill Clinton? Maybe Bill Clinton. Yeah, Bill Clinton is a small government. Yeah, maybe. Bill Clinton is a small government. He did cut. Where do you stand in big versus small? I have the most unpopular opinion of all. You know how the classic debate. I mean, we're in radical times now, but the classic like center left, center right debate is like, the blue side would be tax more to get big government. It's worth it to tax more so we can get a big government. Tax and spend. That's the idea. And the red side would be like tax less. We're gonna have less government, which sucks. Less, we're not gonna do as much, but you get less taxes. And I want like more taxes. I want more taxes and less government. I want the government to focus on a few things and also tax the hell out of the rich people. That's what I want. And these are like this is the, in this position, like this is the bad part, but we get this. And this is the bad part, but we get this. And I want both bad parts in their example. So I could never win an election. I'll tell you that. That's impossible. Can you find less government? Yeah, I mean, the government would have to spend a lot less. We would have to run a balanced budget. We would not be able to afford as many planes. We would not be able to afford as much we'd have to cut the amount we spend on a lot of things. It would be a lot. All the four horsemen have to be cut. What are the few things you want the government to handle? I think the most important things would be a really strong, trustworthy, reliable judiciary and antitrust. I think the government should be really, really good at setting the rules and the table for which people can compete within. That would be very important. Is tax more or less government your ideal government, or just ideal direction we're in right now? Yeah, I'm sort of thinking about right now where I want to go. But I think high taxes are a social good in general. I think they're good even if you burn the money. I think high top tax rates are just good because it prevents this crazy escape velocity. I'm not even talking about redistribution. I'm just talking about how I think I'm a really big fan of trying to keep inequality within a relatively narrow band. I think some inequality is going to exist, and I think actually needs to exist on some level for incentives and things to work. But I think I saw a really good study on this actually, which was like, I might be butchering it. It's like if imagine if the difference between like a great outcome and a bad outcome is 1 to 10, and the average person's like at a 5. So like, if somebody's, how do I put this? It's like the difference between the richest guy in your town having like a nicer car and a house than you, and then him having $100 billion and owning your state. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's when the inequality band is between here instead of 1 in 10 million, you know? When the gap is this big, it is incentivizing. But when it's this big, it's impossible. It's disincentivizing. If anything, it's like depressing. It's like Clancyville, yeah. Yeah, it fucks with the social contract. Yeah, exactly. Alex at the 57. Was good, the only temple. I think I have relucted to that Fango. All right, everyone's getting into debate mode, which is great. But I might call it here. That was a fun stream. Appreciate you guys talking with me. Very interesting stuff. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Hopefully I farmed a clip or two for old 8ish today. And Sevens, thanks for listening. Thanks for chatting with me. Tomorrow's Hitman Horse. Tomorrow I'll be live early to do a Hitman Horse. And then, well, there might be some news tomorrow that I want to talk about. But if there's not, then I'd like to play that bus game that Squeaks was playing. The Can I Sit Here or whatever. So I might do a Hitman Horse into that and try to do a puzzle game tomorrow. That'd be fun. Be a good, is this seat taken? Yeah. Hitman Horse, that could be a fun. Hitman Horse could take a while. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining in. And we could raid somebody if they're alive. Anyone we know? Not really. Could raid Sea Dog, I guess. Nah, just watch what you want. Goodbye, good night. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.